Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining me. My name is Tom Totten. I'm a solution architect for Velocio, and today we'd like to talk about the Dynamics 365 Sales Professional and how that all works. So today we're going to, here's our list of things we're going to look at. We're going to navigate throughout the system so you know what we're looking at. We're going to look at dashboards and activities. We're going to talk about account and contact management. We're going to go through lead and opportunity management, converting leads to opportunities, and then into quotes and ultimately orders and invoices. There is case management with the sales professional. We'll talk about that as well as take a quick peek at the products and the price lists and unit groups, the calendar, and some sales settings. So that's kind of our plan for today. So let's go into our live presentation. Okay, so here is Dynamics 365 Sales Professional. So what we did was we logged in. It takes us to our home screen. Our home screen is set up so that we're in our professional summary. This is more tactical, so a sales professional will be able to see their activities, their open opportunities, active accounts, and work with them right from the dashboard. A manager or maybe just a higher level view of similar information is on the Sales Manager Summary dashboard, where we get to see our pipeline and closed opportunities and even get into closed versus one versus lost deals, estimated versus actual revenue, and incoming leads, whether they're currently qualified or open. So from the dashboard, we can do a lot of work directly from here. Two dashboards come out of the box, the manager and the professional, and we can create new dashboards for ourselves right from the solution, and even the seller can create their own dashboards as well. So then we have our accounts. So accounts, we'll go to the account list. Initially, we can see that I'm looking at my active accounts. That just means that I own these records. We have the ability to filter down other types of accounts. So in this case, I'll just go to all active accounts, and you'll notice that there's now 26 accounts, and so some of these accounts are owned by someone else. This is called a system view. So this chart allows us to filter and search for different records. So a couple of ways that we can do that. First of all, we can sort from the top of the list, from top to bottom, A to Z, whether it be the account, the city, the contact, email address. We can also filter information. So if I wanted to go into maybe the address section and I wanted to filter out Redmond, so I might just go in here and say equals Redmond. There we go. Apply, and now I can see I have 3 accounts in Redmond. And then we can clear that filter with a click. If I wanted to search for a particular account in this list of accounts, we can just go to our search records, and in this case, maybe we'll type in Fourth, and we get Fourth Coffee. So quickly and easily in the system view, we can get to the information that we're looking for. There's a couple of other ways that Dynamics 365 helps you get to certain types of information as well. So one of those would be to show a chart that's associated with this list. So when I show the chart, the first chart that came up was the accounts by industry. So you can see that I've got a number of different industries in the solution, and I also have a couple of industries where there are more accounts. So if I wanted to focus on consumer services, then we could drill down on that bar, and you'll see that the accounts associated with consumer services comes up and filters that out. Under the accounts, the other one that kind of makes sense is, who owns certain records. We have Veronica and we have the administrator that own a number of different records. So we have those charts available. They are configurable by the administrator, so they can be configured to what you would like to see based on the criteria inside of your account record. When we hide the chart, we get back to our list, and then we also have the ability to open dashboards. So dashboards connected to the system view allow us to look at those accounts in a different way. So I can go to My Active Accounts, and we can see here are all of Veronica's active accounts. She could simply open those accounts from here. We can get a little bit more information. We can also, at the same time, without having to go into the record itself, we can get to a number of different pieces of information or different tasks that can be performed. The active accounts, those are all the accounts. So this includes the administrator's accounts that we saw earlier. I don't have any inactive accounts, and this is everything put together. I can also show a visual filter. So when I add the visual filter, this lets us filter out with a click, so a drill down capability. I can look at just the administrator's accounts. We can clear that and maybe look at just Veronica's accounts. And then we can also look at a particular industry, and everything is connected and has a relationship to itself. We have a global filter as well, where we can get a little bit more advanced as to the criteria that we want to look for. We can use a drop down, and if I wanted to go look at those consumer services, then we can do that and filter those. And then there are the consumer services accounts. So Dynamics 365 gives you a number of different ways that we can access information right from the account list. We can switch to our tile view as well. And in this case, I drilled down on the consumer services. These are my accounts. We can just click on that tile, and then those accounts associated with consumer services that are owned by Veronica show up in a little box, and we can actually click on ADATM Corporation and have it take us directly to the account record. So now that we're on the account record, we can see that we have our primary contact, account information, and address information. In the center, we have our activities. Here's where we can add different activities associated with this account, whether it be an appointment, an email, a phone call, or a task. And we can even add notes into the account and just say, meeting notes went well. Add that note, and it becomes part of the record inside of the account. On the right, we have an interactive experience where we can see our account, our contacts included with this account. We have any recent opportunities that are being worked for the ADATM Corporation, and then we also have any invoices if there were any invoices available for the ADATM Corporation. And then across the top, we have a couple of different tabs. So the company profile allows us to record things like industry, SIC code, ownership, revenue. Any particular description about the company would go here. Contact preferences, credit limits, anything about billing and shipping. So all the information that we need to collect on the account record would be available inside of this form. The administrator can create additional tabs for additional information if your organization needs to collect more information about the account. And then any other entity that is connected to an account record would be under the related tabs. So as an example, if I wanted to simply look at all of the contacts in a list connected to this account, we can go to the contacts, we can see there's Renee and Susan, and we can open up those contact records directly from the account list. So now that we're in the contact record, we see that available will be basic information, name, address, job title, phone numbers, email addresses, and then we also have our timeline associated with the contact. So again, we can add appointments, email, phone calls, tasks. So let's say I needed to create an appointment with Renee. We'll just go into the system. We could see that we'll say the subject will be a contract meeting, and we can add the location, time frame, and the duration. And then once we save and close that, that becomes part of the timeline inside of the contact record. It will also sync up with Outlook and place this appointment on my Outlook calendar so that I know that it's connected inside of Outlook. And then when we go to back to the account record, we can see that on the timeline, it rolls up with that hierarchy to the account record, and there's the contract meeting that we just created. So we also have our company profile. Go back to our Renee contact information, and I'm sorry, we have details. That's what I meant to say. So that's where we can collect additional information specific to the contact. Gender, marital status, you want to keep track of their birthday, send them a birthday card, anniversary, and billing and shipping and contact preferences as well. So just like the account records, we can get to a system view that shows us our list of accounts. So again, our list of our contacts. Again, these are my active contacts. We have the ability to show a chart. This chart shows us contacts by account. We have by country, by preferred contact method, who wants to be contacted by email, by mail, phone, etc., as well as by role. So this is showing us the different job titles of our contacts. So I know that I have 6 purchasing managers, and we can drill down on those purchasing managers and see who they are and potentially start to work the relationship we have with those contacts. Okay, so same thing as before under the account record. We do also have the ability to open our dashboards and a visual filter so that we can drill down, maybe on contacts that don't have a preferred contact method. All right, so account management, contact management, all of the details necessary inside of the contact record and the account record are available to you so that you can keep track of your accounts and contacts. So as a sales professional, we definitely want to work with our leads and opportunities so that we can close business. Veronica has open to her 8 different leads. And so she can see the topic, she can see the name of the person, and then she can start to work those leads. She also has a chart just like we did on the accounts and contact record. So, maybe she wants to look at the rating. So maybe she wants to work the hot leads first. And she drills down on the hot leads, and Ivan is one of those hot leads. He's interested in our newer offerings. So then I can go ahead and open up the lead record from here. And now we start to get into our business process, our sales process. Across the top, we see that this lead has been active for 21 hours. We're in the qualification stage. And we've got information about this lead. The topic, they're interested in our newer offerings. It's Ivan. He's a purchasing manager for Northwind Traders. And our timeline will track all of the communication that we've had or will have with Ivan. If we know who the stakeholders are, we can add those here by creating a new connection. Our details about the lead, industry, number of employees, contact preference, and the lead source. As a sales rep, we want to make this easy. So what we do is we go to our sales process, our business process flow, and just click on the qualify button here, and we can see that we have a number of tasks that we need to complete in order to take it to the next stage. So first of all, is Ivan an existing contact? So we'll look, actually type Ivan in there and see if we can find an Ivan. So there's no Ivan in there. It's not an existing contact. Is Northwind Traders in the system? And we don't see Northwind Traders. So what will happen here is that when we qualify this lead, it will create a contact and create an account as well as an opportunity. Our purchasing time frame is this year. They've got a $10,000 budget. Their purchasing process will just say that Ivan's going to make the decision on his own. And we have, in fact, identified the decision maker. And the summary might be CRM Professional. He's looking for some new licenses. So then our next stage will ask us to select the opportunity. And since there isn't already an opportunity, we just qualify the lead. And when we qualify the lead, it will create an opportunity for us and move the business process flow over to the development stage. This business process flow is configurable. So whatever your sales process might be, whether it's 4 stages, 3, or 10, we can create those different stages and also the tasks that need to be performed, the steps in that process. So customer need, he's got 10 sales reps, needs CRM. The proposed solution is Dynamics 365 SalesProfessional. We've identified our stakeholders. We only have one, and currently we don't have any competitors in this deal. Now, as I'm working this opportunity, we can go step by step, and we can let this just either come down and in front of us, or we can also just pin it over to the right so that we can see the entire lead record while our stages are visible to us. So then the next step would be to determine what product we need to sell to Ivan. So we'll go over to our next tab, which would be product line items. And we can always just come in here and select the closing date, and maybe if we don't know what they're purchasing yet, and put in an estimated revenue. And then when we get more detailed information from the prospect, then we can turn this into system calculated, so that when we add items to the opportunity, it will calculate the real value or the real amount of what that revenue will be. So the next step would be that we're going to add a new opportunity product. So when we do that, we go ahead and look for items that are in the system, and we know that he wants to purchase CRM Online or Dynamics 365 Professional, and we're going to say he's got 10 reps and he's good to go. Now we know that his budget was $10,000, so really this would be a yearly amount. So we're just going to leave it like this for the demonstration. So $650 is 10 licenses. We've got the product added to our product line items. The next thing to do would be create a quote. So we'll go to the quote tab, add a new quote, and now we have our quote details, shipping information. So we do want to add, after we get our shipping information in here, if you're selling widgets, you might need to send them UPS. You might want to put in your payment terms. And then we want to add the bill to and ship to addresses. So for this particular company, we'll just click on lookup address, and it will default to the one address. Oh, I don't have an address in there. That's fine. And so we would have a default address, and we'd fill in the bill to and ship to addresses. Details about the quote. This is where we can add any notes or tasks about the quote. We might want to create an effective date, so from today to the end of the month, because they are looking to close this by the end of the month. Once the quote is ready, we can activate it so that it creates a read-only version of the quote. You'll notice that it's revision 0, so there hasn't been any revisions to this quote. But if I did need to revise the quote, I can just click the revise button at the top, and after an additional phone call with the prospect, we realized that we needed to add some additional products to this quote. So in this case, we're going to add some enterprise licenses and we're going to add 50 of those. And now we've added additional product to our quote. So from this point, we can create a quote for the customer using a Word template. And this will be just very simple. Word will open up, and we can see Northwind Traders, dear customer, I'm sending this quote, and it's a summary of what this customer is interested in. And because this is Word, you'll be able to configure the template in any way that you see fit, whether you want to add logos or a different layout or additional maybe terms and conditions to the quote. You can do that as well. So once the customer or the prospect has decided that they want to move forward, then, and I do need to activate that quote again because remember I revised it. It's now revision number 1. So we'll activate that quote. Customer emails me back and says I'm ready to move forward. So we're going to create the order and the invoice for this particular transaction. There we go. So there's the invoice. We also have another Word template for the invoice for the customer. And again, we can just open up the Word document and send off the invoice to the customer. So what happened there is that by completing that process of going through lead to opportunity to creating a quote and turning it into an order, it closed the opportunity as one. And then, of course, when the customer pays their invoice, we can indicate that the invoice has been paid and it is completed. So now we can always go down to our collateral section. So under quotes, I have no open quotes. When I go to all quotes, we can see that we have 3 quotes in here that were won and 1 that was closed. We have orders. So here are the new orders. And then we have the invoices. And we can also go to all invoices and see a list of all of the invoices that are in the system. All right. So the next thing that we want to look at would be cases. So a sales rep might want to be able to see if there are any open cases before they are going into a meeting. So maybe we wanted to filter our customer, and we're going to meet with A-Datum Corporation. We see that we've got a number of cases that are in progress. So I have access to that information. As a sales rep as well, being that I'm the first line of communication typically with my customers, they may call me and ask me about an issue that they're having. And if I don't have the process of letting them go to a portal or sending an email to support, I can create a case myself to help facilitate that issue that my customer is having and maintain that relationship of good service. So in that case, we can go to the top here and just click on create a new case, and we can say issue with logging in or whatever it might be. And this would be for Renee is the one that called in from A-Datum Corporation. As soon as I select her name, the customer details show up on the right-hand side. We have some recent cases, faulty product catalog. So we can just start to fill out the additional information about this particular case. So once I've created the case, save and close, that case will go into a queue. Oh, invalid contact for that customer. So I really just need to select the customer there. And Dynamics 365 keeps you in check, keeps your data clean by not allowing you to do things that you shouldn't be doing. All right, so new case was created. Customer service can now handle that. They'll be able to find that in their queue and solve that issue for our customer. So another thing that I wanted to go back to would be your contacts and your contact management. So if I have a contact, maybe Renee, needs to get on. I need to get her on my marketing list. I realize that I've spoken to her a lot, and I'd like her to receive my newsletter on a monthly basis. So I can go to her contact record, and I can add her to a marketing list. We'll just use the nurture list, and then now she's part of that marketing list. So now marketing will know that she needs to be sent the newsletter email every month. So then we'll get into just some of the setup and just kind of poke around in here just so you know where things are. As a user, I'm able to go and see all of my products. We've got product families, product groups, and bundles. So here are all the different product families and groups. We can see price lists. So if I was to open up the default price list, then it would also let me know which items are included in that price list. You can have as many price lists as you need. Some of our customers will have a price list for specific customers. Some will have price lists by region or territory, business unit, depends on what you need in that area. And then you can price them accordingly. Unit groups are just simply what's the unit I'm selling? What's the unit of measure? So is it an each? Is it a case? Is it a pallet? A bin? Calendar is just simply your calendar connected from Dynamics 365, and also will sync with your Outlook. And then the administrator will have some settings that they have the ability to get to quickly and easily, importing data, managing users, and setting up email. You can brand the look and feel of Dynamics 365 with your colors and logos. We can manage teams. Here's where we're able to make modifications to the templates that we have. So remember, we looked at the quote template, and if we needed to make some adjustment to that quote, we can go ahead and do that here. We can also export information. So if we want to pull down a list, maybe make some bulk edits to a list of accounts or a list of contacts, we can do that here. And then also administrators will have the ability to customize the forms. So the account record, the lead record, the contact record, those forms that you saw, if you need to make some adjustments, add new fields, then this is where we would be able to do that. If we want to change the look of the views, remember the My Active Contacts, My Active Accounts, we can add columns, we can filter, and create a more conducive environment for the way I do business. Business process flow, we mentioned that we had that lead to opportunity sales process, and then we also have an opportunity sales process if we started with the opportunity. And this is where you can add additional business processes. So sometimes our customers will have an inside sales team, and some will have an outside sales team, and maybe the process is a little bit different. So that it helps guide the sellers through that process of lead to quote to cash, if you want to call it that. And then we can actually manage the look and feel of the navigation and what's available to the user by editing the app that we're working in. So that is the gist of what we're looking at for Microsoft Dynamics 365 Sales Professional. If you have any questions, please put them in the chat box, and we will be happy to answer them. Okay, so the last thing that we want to go through would be how the Dynamics 365 for Sales Professional is licensed and the promotion that Microsoft is offering currently. So there are some restrictions. Put this up on the screen so you can take a second, take a screenshot, or just talk to your consultant or sales professional about how this works. But Microsoft does have a promotion up until October 31st. I also thought that it would be important to just briefly talk about some of the differences between the Sales Professional sales enterprise, and we really don't need to get into the relationship sales and the engagement plan. Those are additional functionality. But the Sales Professional has a lot of functionality with it. There are no restrictions on the number of users in your organization, so it doesn't matter how big you are. You have lead and opportunity management, marketing lists, products and price lists, quotes, orders, and invoices, and we talked about that in our demonstration. We also have case management. Even though it's not a full-fledged customer service implementation, you still have the ability to manage cases, and that's a great feature for sales reps, making sure that they are on top of their customers. You can create custom entities. There's a maximum of 15. That's a good number of custom entities, so you're in good shape there. You have the ability to export to Excel, and you can even use advanced analytics like Power BI as long as you have a Power BI license. Real-time sales reports, there are some limitations, and then of course at the bottom here there's other things that aren't included. But all in all, this is a great solution for the Sales Professional, and the price point is great as well. So I want to thank you. Whoever may have invited you to this webinar can help you as well. My name's Tom Totten again. Here's my contact information if I can help you at all, and we'll take care of some questions. Thanks. Have a great day.